All right, let's dive into something new today, something I know a lot of you are curious about.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
We're talking all things tiny houses.
Tiny houses, all right.
But we're going even deeper than just, those charming little homes you see on TV.
Okay.
We're talking about the world of tiny house consulting.
Interesting.
You've mentioned before being interested in, the minimalist lifestyle and this whole idea of downsizing and simplifying.
Right.
So I thought it would be fascinating to dig into this article I found. It's titled, Starting a Tiny House Consulting Business.
That sounds right up your alley.
It really is, and it turns out there's this huge demand for experts in this field.
Yeah.
People are, like, seriously considering this alternative way of living, but they need help getting started.
Makes sense. It's a big change.
It is.
So where do we start with this?
Well, I think the first question is, why are we seeing this surge in interest in tiny houses? I mean, it seems like they've gone from being this niche idea to a full-blown movement.
Yeah, like what's driving that? Well, a lot of factors are coming together at the right time.
Uh-huh.
Like, think about housing costs. They're skyrocketing in so many places.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right? It's making that whole, American dream of homeownership feel impossible for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have this growing awareness of like our environmental impact and this desire for a more sustainable way of life.
Yeah.
And tiny houses, they kind of fit into that perfectly.
How so?
For one thing, they use way fewer resources.
Like, how much less are we talking?
On average, a tiny house uses about a tenth of the energy of a standard home.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It's a huge reduction in your carbon footprint.
And, for someone like you who's always thinking about ways to live more sustainably, that's got to be appealing.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge draw for me.
And they often incorporate, eco-friendly materials and technologies, which is another bonus.
Right, like solar panels, composting toilets.
Composting toilets. Okay, we're going to have to come back to that later.
We'll dive into that, I promise.
But, even though all of that sounds, like, really appealing,
Yeah.
I have to admit, the whole process of downsizing and figuring out where to even put a tiny house seems super daunting.
Oh, it can be incredibly overwhelming.
Right.
And that's where a tiny house consultant comes in. They help guide you through all of that.
Okay, so walk me through this. What exactly does a tiny house consultant do?
Well, they do a lot, but one of the biggest things is helping with planning and design.
Okay.
Like, they can help you design a space that's functional, stylish, even with limited square footage.
I've seen some amazing tiny house designs. It's incredible how much they can fit into such a small space.
Right. It's all about being creative and
And
intentional.
they help with the layout, like space-saving solutions, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And they can also advise you on, eco-friendly materials, energy-efficient options.
Right, like those solar panels and composting toilets we talked about.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like they're a one-stop shop for all the practical aspects of tiny house living.
It is. And it goes beyond the physical house, too.
Really?
Like, they can help you create a budget, figure out financing, even connect you with builders and suppliers in your area.
Wow, so they handle everything.
Pretty much, it's a very comprehensive service.
I'm starting to see the appeal of this consulting role. It's like being a designer, a project manager, and a lifestyle coach all rolled into one.
You got it. That's a great way to
But
put
they
it.
even help with the whole downsizing process, right?
They do, which can be a big one.
Because, I mean, think about it. Trying to pare down your entire life into a few hundred square feet,
Oh, yeah.
that's a major mind shift.
It is. It requires a whole new way of thinking about your belongings and what's truly important.
So the consultant helps people embrace that minimalist approach.
Exactly. They help you figure out what to keep, what to let go of, and how to create a space that truly reflects your values.
It's like they're helping you declutter not just your stuff, but your whole lifestyle.
That's a great way to put it. It's about simplifying and focusing on what matters most.
I have a feeling you might be thinking what I'm thinking right now.
Uh-oh. What's that?
What if I became a tiny house consultant?
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, it sounds like such a cool opportunity.
It is, and the market seems wide open.
Okay, so let's say I'm intrigued. What would I need to do to get started in this field?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to become a tiny house expert yourself.
So more than just binge watching those tiny house shows on TV.
Way more, you need actual knowledge and experience.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Research, lots of research, read everything you can about building materials, energy efficiency, those all-important zoning laws.
Right, because we've been talking about those a lot.
They're crucial. And attend workshops, tour existing tiny houses, just really immerse yourself in the world.
So it's about getting hands-on experience, not just theoretical knowledge.
Exactly, you need both.
And I imagine you need to, like, find your niche, right?
You do figure out what kind of tiny house consultant you want to be.
Like, what are some examples?
Well, you could specialize in helping families downsize, or maybe focus on off-grid living.
Okay.
Or you could become the go-to expert for navigating those tricky zoning regulations in your area.
So find what you're passionate about and build your expertise around that.
Exactly. Once you've got a solid foundation, you can start building your business.
Which
A
means,
business plan, the not so fun part.
oh, the dreaded business plan.
But it's important. It helps you map out your goals, target audience, services, pricing.
So even a tiny house business needs a big plan.
It does, and it needs a strong brand, too.
Okay, what does that involve?
Things like a professional website, a memorable logo, a tagline that captures your unique approach.
And I bet even in a niche market like this, online presence is key.
Oh, absolutely. You want people to be able to find you easily.
Right, like when they search for tiny house consultant plus their location.
Exactly. You want to be at the top of those search results.
So SEO, search engine optimization, that's important too.
It is. And don't underestimate the power of networking.
You know, I'm a big believer in networking.
It's so valuable. Connect with builders, designers, real estate agents, anyone involved in the tiny house world.
So build those relationships, get your name out there.
Exactly, because those connections can lead to referrals and collaborations that can really boost your business.
Now let's talk about money, because at the end of the day, it's a business.
Right. It's got to be sustainable.
So realistically, how much can someone earn as a tiny house consultant?
Well, there are a few different income streams to consider.
Okay, break it down for me.
You could offer like hourly consultations for people who just need some basic guidance.
Okay.
And then you could have more comprehensive packages that include design plans, budgeting assistance, connections to resources.
So different tiers of service.
Exactly. And each tier would have a different price point.
Got it. And then there are things like workshops and online courses, right?
Those too, which can be a great way to reach a larger audience and generate some passive income.
Okay, now we're talking. So multiple ways to build a profitable business in this niche.
It seems like it.
But I have a feeling finding clients might not be as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
So how do you actually connect with those tiny house enthusiasts who are ready to take the plunge but need some expert guidance?
Yeah, it's not like you can just put up a website and wait for the clients to roll in.
So where do you go to find them, these tiny house enthusiasts who are, ready to downsize but need a little help figuring it all out?
Well, you got to go where they hang out, both online and in the real world.
Give me some examples. What are we talking about?
Social media is a big one. Platforms like Instagram, Pinterest, those are perfect for showcasing those, dreamy, tiny house designs.
Oh, yeah. I can already picture those perfectly organized shelves, the tiny wood stove crackling in the corner.
Exactly. It's about capturing that aesthetic, that lifestyle, and inspiring people.
But it's got to be more than just pretty pictures, right?
Of course, you need substance too. You got to provide valuable information, share tips on downsizing, offer advice on navigating zoning laws.
So establish yourself as a resource, someone people can trust.
Exactly. Build that credibility and show them, your stuff.
And I bet those online communities, like the tiny house forums and Facebook groups, those are gold mines too, right?
Absolutely. Tons of people on there looking for information and support.
So it's about engaging in those conversations, answering questions, and maybe subtly dropping hints about your amazing consulting services.
Subtly, always subtly.
Don't want to be too salesy.
Right. It's about building relationships and trust.
What about content marketing? Does that play a role?
Oh, for sure. Writing blog posts, articles, things like that.
About what?
Relevant topics like building on a budget, finding land for your tiny house, the things people are actually searching for online.
So basically, share your knowledge and let the clients come to you.
It's a much softer sell than like blasting ads everywhere.
Okay, so we've got the online side covered, but what about real-world strategies? How do you connect with people offline?
Attending tiny house festivals and workshops is huge.
Get out there and meet people face to face.
Exactly. You can showcase your services, give mini consultations, network with other professionals.
Spread the tiny house gospel.
It's all about making those personal connections.
Okay, so we've got the marketing piece down, but I'm sure there are challenges too, right? I mean, no business is without its hurdles.
Oh, definitely.
What are some of the biggest challenges someone might face as a tiny house consultant?
Well, we've talked about zoning laws a lot, and those can be a major roadblock.
Because they vary so much from place to place.
Exactly. and they're not always tiny house friendly.
So it's a constant learning curve, staying updated on those regulations.
It is, and sometimes it's even worth partnering with, like legal experts who can offer specialized guidance to your clients.
So navigating the legal side of things can be a real headache.
It can, but with the right knowledge and connections, it's manageable. Helping clients overcome their anxieties about downsizing, that's a big one.
Because it is a big change, it's not just about getting rid of stuff, it's a whole shift in mindset.
Exactly. So you got to be empathetic, understanding, offer practical solutions and support.
It's like you're guiding them through a major life transition,
It is. And then, of course, there's the whole managing client expectations piece,
making sure everyone's on the same page.
being upfront about timelines, budgets, potential challenges.
Transparency and honesty are key.
They are. It's all about building a business based on trust and mutual respect.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the consulting side of things, but I think it's time to dive into the actual construction process.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty.
What are some of the key things to consider when building a tiny house?
Well, one of the biggest differences is the emphasis on multifunctionality.
Okay, explain that to me.
Every inch of space has to serve a purpose.
Right, because you're working with limited square footage.
Exactly. So you've got fold-down tables, beds that convert into couches, staircases with built-in drawers.
So it's like those transformer toys from our childhood, but for houses.
I love that analogy.
What about building codes and regulations? Are those different for tiny houses?
They can be, depending on where you live.
So things like ceiling height, ventilation, the type of foundation you use, those all matter.
They do, and that's another area where a consultant can be really helpful.
Guiding you through that maze of regulations.
Exactly, making sure your build meets all the necessary standards.
What about materials? Are there specific materials that are best suited for tiny houses?
A lot of tiny house builders are opting for sustainable and eco-friendly materials.
Like what?
Reclaimed wood, bamboo, even recycled shipping containers.
Wait, you can actually build a house out of a shipping container.
You can, it's a growing trend.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a great way to upcycle materials that would otherwise end up in a landfill.
So you're not just minimizing your living space, you're minimizing your environmental impact too. It's all connected.
I bet building with unconventional materials like that comes with its own set of challenges.
It does. You often need specialized builders who are familiar with those alternative construction methods.
So do your research, find the right team.
Absolutely.
Speaking of teams, what about financing? Are there specific loan options for tiny houses, or is it just traditional mortgages?
It's getting better. There are more options popping up specifically for tiny homes.
Like what?
Some builders are partnering with credit unions that offer specialized loans, offered with lower interest rates and more flexible terms.
That's great news for people who are, looking for affordable financing.
It is. It's a sign that tiny houses are becoming more mainstream.
What about crowdfunding? Is that an option?
It can be. There are platforms specifically geared towards tiny house projects.
So you can tap into that community support.
Exactly. And if you have a compelling story and a solid plan, you can raise funds from like-minded individuals.
So it's not just about banks and loans, it's about finding creative solutions. It is, and I think we'll see even more innovative financing options emerge as the movement continues to grow.
I'm excited to see where it all goes.
Me too.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. From the why behind the tiny house movement to the nuts and bolts of building and financing.
And everything in between.
Right, and we've touched on those key challenges and rewards of downsizing and embracing a more minimalist lifestyle.
It's a journey, that's for sure.
Speaking of journeys, one of the biggest hurdles we haven't really talked about yet is finding the perfect spot to park your tiny house.
That's a big one. And that's where those pesky zoning laws come into play again.
So let's dive into the world of tiny house communities and explore those different options for legally and safely establishing your tiny home.
Sounds good to me.
It's amazing how much we've unpacked about tiny house living in just this one deep dive.
Right. It's like a whole universe of its own.
We started with the why, all those factors pushing people towards this movement.
Yeah, the rising housing costs, the desire for a smaller footprint, like it all ties together.
But what really stuck with me is that sense of community, Like, it's not just about the house, it's a whole different way of life.
It really is. It's a whole mindset shift.
Remember when we were talking about those, transformer furniture pieces and all the clever storage hacks?
Oh, yeah, those were cool.
It made me realize that tiny house living almost forces you to get creative, You got to be a problem solver.
Absolutely. Every inch counts. So you got to think outside the box.
Right, you're constantly evaluating what you really need, what's essential.
It's like a built-in mindfulness practice. You're so aware of your space and your stuff.
And it doesn't stop there, right? That minimalist approach spills over into other areas of your life.
Totally, like how you spend your money, what you choose to fill your time with.
It's like a domino effect. You start simplifying one thing, and then it just keeps going.
It's a journey of self-discovery, figuring out what truly matters to you.
I bet there are challenges along the way, though.
Oh, for sure. Downsizing can be tough emotionally. And finding the right place to put your tiny house, that can be a logistical nightmare.
And let's be real, there's probably some social pressure too, right? From people who just don't get it.
Absolutely. You kind of have to be comfortable going against the grain.
So for someone listening who's like really intrigued by all this, what's your biggest piece of advice?
Do your research, immerse yourself in the community, you know, talk to people who are already living the tiny house life, go to workshops, see some houses in person.
Get a real feel for it.
Exactly. It's about more than just pretty pictures on Instagram. You got to understand the day-to-day realities.
The good and the bad.
And don't be afraid to start small. You don't have to dive in head first.
Dip your toes in, see how it feels.
Maybe rent a tiny house for a weekend. Try decluttering a few areas of your current home.
Test the waters. See if it resonates with you.
Exactly. And remember, there are tons of resources out there to help you along the way.
Books, blogs, podcasts, online communities, even those tiny house consultants we talked about.
You're not alone on this journey.
So if any part of you is even a little bit curious about this whole tiny house thing,
That spark of excitement, don't ignore it.
explore it. See where it leads you.
It might just change your life.
And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into the world of tiny houses and tiny house consulting.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.